A lot of reaction this morning to a controversial proposal by President Trump in the Middle East. The president wants the U.S. to take over the Gaza Strip and rebuild it into a tourist destination. KTLA's Eric Spillman live in the newsroom with more on that. Eric, good morning.
We all know that President Trump is a former developer of hotels and resorts, and he wants to rebuild Gaza from scratch. But his proposal involves moving out the people who live there, and so far, foreign leaders do not think it's such a great idea.
We want to give people a chance at life. They have never had a chance at life because the Gaza Strip has been a hellhole for people living there.
The president at a news conference with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the United States should take control of Gaza. He says America should, quote, own it and take responsibility for redeveloping it.
We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent.
Gaza has been devastated by Israel's war against Hamas following that group's attack on Israel more than 15 months ago. President Trump says all 2 million Palestinians living in Gaza should leave and go elsewhere, perhaps to countries like Egypt and Jordan. He says the U.S. would dismantle all the unexploded bombs in Gaza, get rid of the destroyed buildings, and make it into a center for tourism and jobs. And he did not rule out sending U.S. troops there to put his plan in place. Also, he did not explain what legal authority would give the U.S. the right to take over the territory. But this morning on CBS, the president's national security advisor defended the idea.
The fact that nobody has a realistic solution, and he puts some very bold, fresh, new ideas out on the table, I don't think should be criticized in any way. I think it's going to bring the entire region to come with their own solutions.
But aside from that, reaction to the president's plan in many foreign capitals has been mostly negative. Saudi Arabia immediately rejected it and called for an independent Palestinian state. Turkey's foreign minister called it unacceptable. Egypt and Jordan say they refuse to take in people from Gaza. Many of the Palestinians living there are descendants of people who left homes in Israel during the 1948 war after Israel's independence, and now President Trump is suggesting they be displaced again.
Our country and our home is the Gaza Strip. It's part of Palestine. We have no home. For those who want to send them to a happy, nice place, let them go back, to their original homes inside Israel. There are nice places there, and they will be happy to return to these places.
The president's remarks come at a sensitive time. Israel and Hamas are in the middle of negotiating a permanent ceasefire in Gaza that could lead to the end of fighting and the release of all the remaining hostages. That's the latest from the newsroom. We'll send it back to you.